Today on the CButters channel, we are going to be doing our official review of the Surface Pro 3. It's a newly designed Microsoft Surface device. This time around, Microsoft listened to consumer feedback and left the 10-inch 16:9 aspect ratio design of the past and opted for a 12-inch device that, despite having a larger screen, is actually thinner and lighter than its predecessor. The Surface Pro 3 weighs in at only 800 grams. Let me pull this part so you can see. So this part is 800 grams. If you add the type cover, which is optional but incredibly recommended, then the total weight is 1,095 grams or 2.4 pounds. This is incredibly light for a fully functional computing device like this. The Surface Pro 3 comes in several different iterations, from the Core i3 with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB SSD to the Core i7 with 8 GB of RAM and 512 GB SSD. For our review today, this model is a Core i7 with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB SSD. The retail price is $1549. Okay, let's talk about the external features of the Surface Pro 3. Power button, headphone jack and volume up and down. On this side, this is where our type cover attaches to. On this side, we have our charging port, USB 3.0, as well as our mini display port. And back here, we have our micro SD card slot. We also have rear and front-facing cameras, 5 megapixel cameras, and the Windows button, instead of being typically found at the bottom, is on our right-hand side. This is video footage from the Surface Pro 3. As you can see, it's not the best quality, but it will work in a pinch. This is the pen that comes standard with the Surface Pro 3, and it's got a unique button at the top. It's a OneNote button, which will automatically pull up OneNote on your tablet. This is kind of the first time that Microsoft has integrated its hardware so closely with its Office software. It also has palm rejection technology, which allows you to rest your palm on the tablet and still be able to write. There's also 2 buttons. One is an eraser tool and a selector tool. This is the type cover. It's not included with the Surface Pro 3, but it's almost a necessity if you want to take full advantage of the device. It's super thin, as you can see here, and it also has backlight, which is a first for this line. It also attaches magnetically to the Surface Pro 3.
The Surface Pro 3 takes a little bit longer to get positioned than a normal laptop, since you have to first pop the kickstand out and then lift up, while a normal laptop is just one motion to lift the lid. It is, however, comfortable to use once in position. The kickstand will adjust to fit any angle, which can sometimes make it even more comfortable than a normal laptop in some positions. Also, now that the type cover connects on 4 magnetic points, the Surface Pro 3 feels very stable in your lap versus the previous generation. Typing is adequate. The keys do not have a whole lot of travel, but with a bit of practice, you can still type very proficiently.
This is the AC adapter that comes with the Surface Pro 3. On the power brick, it has a USB port that won't do data, but it will power any of your auxiliary devices. The power plug fits magnetically into the charging port, and it will go in either orientation.
The Surface Pro 3 features a 2160 by 1440 IPS display, which has a unique 3:2 aspect ratio, and it is one of the most beautiful displays of its kind. The viewing angles are excellent from almost any angle. In fact, the DisplayMate website, an authority on display evaluation, rated the Surface Pro 3 as one of the best calibrated and all-around excellent displays. See the link in the description of this video. With the Surface Pro 3, Microsoft moved from a Wacom digitizer to an Intrig digitizer, most likely to allow for a thinner device. This had some worried as Wacom has a strong reputation, and the number of pressure levels was reduced. Many of these fears are unfounded, as the Surface Pro 3 performs well at inking tasks, writing is smooth and responsive. A well-known web comic artist has even told his audience to not worry about the new technology, as it is still very conducive to digital artists. We do things just a little bit differently here on the CButters channel. That's why our battery life review consists of 2 tests, best case scenario and worst case scenario. Everyone else's usage will fall somewhere in between. The best case scenario utilized low brightness, wireless radios off, Bluetooth off, balance power profile. Under these settings, the Surface Pro 3 lasted 16 hours, 45 minutes. The worst case scenario utilized full brightness, all radios on, 100% CPU and GPU usage using firmware. Under these conditions, the Surface Pro 3 lasted 2 hours, 6 minutes. The Surface Pro 3 has unique performance characteristics, mainly because since the device is so thin that performance depends on many thermal factors: ambient temperature, whether the GPU and CPU are being used concurrently, and whether the onboard display is being used or not. These factors will almost surely trigger throttling of performance at some point when using the Surface Pro 3. Despite these caveats, the Surface Pro 3 with Core i7 processor is capable of scoring a 2.62 in the Cinebench R11.5 multi-threaded test and 1.37 in the single-threaded test. For reference, this is testing the best case scenario in a cool, well-ventilated area. This is faster than the last generation Surface Pro 2, which scored 2.50 in multi-threaded and 0.96 in the single-threaded test. In PC Mark, our Core i7 version, Surface Pro 3, scores 5264, and the Surface Pro 3 i5 version scores 5076. The Pro 3 is also capable of running newer games like Tomb Raider at reasonable frame rates of 30 frames per second, when resolution is reduced to 1280 by 720 and normal detail settings.
The CButters channel has already covered some of the throttling issues of the Surface Pro 3. If you'd like more information, be sure to check out this link.
Is the Core i7 worth it over the Core i5 or the Core i3? This isn't an easy question to answer. It all depends on how much you value performance. Despite the throttling issues, the Core i7 does provide the highest performance, especially in the applications that utilize the GPU, since it contains double the EU units. This can get pricey starting at $1549 though. If you are strapped for cash and just want a great consumption device in the exact same form factor and you don't need a lot of disk space, you can find the basic i3 unit for $699, and that might be enough for you. Overall, the Core i5 does provide the most performance for your dollar, starting at $999. The Surface Pro 3 is not a perfect device. It is a series of trade-offs that hopes to give you the most versatile device possible, usable in almost any situation. For the most part, the trade-offs you have in order to have one device fill the role of a laptop, a tablet, and writing device are not unreasonable. The Surface Pro 3 is light and fairly easy to manage as a tablet, but it is still heavy compared to most tablets. The Surface Pro 3, once in position, functions well as a laptop device, but can be unwieldy if you need to move positions quickly. The Core i7 processor is capable, but under certain extended scenarios that stress both the CPU and the GPU, performance can be limited. The severity of these trade-offs really comes down to your personal usage model. But without a doubt, the Surface Pro 3 is an extremely capable, beautiful, and useful device that will allow many to get work done in many different ways, more so than any dedicated tablet or dedicated laptop could do alone.
Thanks for watching my first review video on the CButters channel. If you want to see me do more reviews, thumbs up my video, and please subscribe. Thanks, guys. The Surface Pro. $1549. Surface Pro 3.